held in anticipation of the vast, sweeping changes digital technologies would wreak on our society, our economy, and our very way of life. In many ways, the summit was a forward-looking summit, predicting a time when we would read our news online rather than from a newspaper, find our way by GPS rather than from a map, when leaders and actors could talk more on Twitter or Instagram rather than on television, when pupils and teachers would spend more time studying online rather than in a classroom, monitor the melting of the ice caps, or find archaeological sites from satellite imagery from space rather than from the ground. The summit brought together many different players in recognition of how everyone is involved in shaping an internet beneficial for society and empowering for individuals. This multi-stakeholder model became accepted as the main way forward for the internet and information society. It also emphasized to governments and policymakers that digital technologies will transform society, and to benefit to the maximum, governments had to work with other actors to maximize connectivity across their country. Today, the issues raised by the summit remain more relevant than ever. But to really benefit from the digital revolution, we need you to join the WSIS movement and commit to connecting the unconnected, to enable everyone to benefit from digital technologies wherever they are and however they live. In future, for example, we'll be identified by our faces rather than our fingerprints, and money will be obsolete. We'll pay for goods from our digital wallet, stored in our wristband. Make sure you have your say, and join the WSIS movement to ensure that your views are taken into account in the future of the information society.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, dear WSIS stakeholders. Thank you for joining us today for the WSIS Forum 2021 workshop. This is our first workshop today, where we will be bringing you some very exciting technology, which Katrina and Martin from Seaboard will talk to us about. It is basically about communications for all. It's a software which is free and open source, and it talks about argumentative and alternative communication technology. So thank you very much and welcome to Katrina and Martin to this workshop. Please note that the workshop is also being live streamed in Facebook Live, and where stakeholders are also following us. And you will be able to ask your questions through basically by raising your hand or by sending us your question in Q&A. So thank you very much again for joining us today for one of the first workshops of the WSIS Forum 2021. We will have workshops and sessions in various formats like Facebook Live interviews, workshops in this format, and various other innovative formats that you have recommended to us. So, Katrina, welcome, and over to you.
Hi, thank you so much for having us. Good morning, afternoon. There are many different time zones, so wherever you are, thank you for joining us. I'm now going to share my screen for the presentation, and Martin and I are going to take turns presenting and sharing our screens. So welcome. Martin and I work with Seaboard. Seaboard is an online web app that allows, facilitates communication through text-to-speech for people with speech and communication impediments. So Seaboard falls under a much broader category known as augmentative and alternative communication. And within AAC, which is it's usually known as AAC, it is an umbrella term that refers to methods used to supplement or replace speech and writing. So there are two broader categories within AAC. So it's sort of thinking about umbrella terms. We have aided versus unaided. Unaided would be anything from waving goodbye, facial expressions, hand gestures, while aided AAC, which is where Seaboard falls under, takes into account any sort of technology and, aided forms of communication. So this could be with images, so people pointing to images, pictograms. Within aided AAC, we have the basic and high-tech forms of communication. Seaboard would be a high-tech form of augmentative and alternative communication. So what differentiates Seaboard from other AAC technology is that what we sought to do was provide an app that sort of combines basic and high-tech, in that you can edit it to make it as complex or simple as you would like it. So we'll get into that in just a little bit, where we'll be able to show you all the different features that are available. Here we go. So I will stop sharing now and pass it over to Martin.
Okay. Thank you. Let me know if you can hear this.
Yes, we can see.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear
Yes.
me? Okay. Okay. I'm going to use Seaboard to talk. Okay.
All the work we do follows four very clear strategies, and we believe that they are our main differential with respect to other alternative communication solutions. These are the four strategies. Web application. Seaboard is designed and built for the web. This allows any device capable of running a modern web browser to be able to use Seaboard. At the same time, the application is available as a standalone app format in the download stores. More than 40 languages. We have learned that the most interested are not the technologically advanced countries, but on the contrary. The project has been having a very good impact in places with few resources and with less popular languages. That is why the support of multiple languages was a design pattern from the beginning. Modern user interface. For the user interface, the project seeks to make the user experience similar to using a popular mobile application, so that the icons and graphic elements are familiar to most users. Open source. That was the way it all came about. All those who come to collaborate do so with the same concern that we had at the time. An application to help people with disabilities has to be open source if it is to be inclusive. Quickly after the GitHub project was created, people with different skill sets and backgrounds started to contribute in different areas of expertise. We were able to create a space within the open source community for programmers, designers, translators, users, and parents to collaborate on improving our solution.
Okay, continue. You can continue.
Katrina, you need to unmute yourself, please.
So I will continue sharing my screen. So as Martin said, Seaboard currently works in over 40 languages, and we're working on incorporating more. We found we very much value feedback from users in terms of learning what it is we need to continue working on. And some of the feedback we recently received has to do with incorporating not only different languages, but different accents in order to have, for example, we did receive feedback on Portuguese, on ensuring that we had Portuguese from Portugal and from Brazil, so that children, for example, when using the app, were able to easily recognize the pronunciation. So getting into how Seaboard works. Here, this is a screenshot from the home page, from the initial home page on the app, on the top right corner. So this homepage can actually be completely edited. So you go into the app and create your own account using just an email address. Once you have your account, you're able to delete any folder or tile. The yellow are tiles, while the blue, the light blue, are folders with more folders or tiles within them. The ones that are visible here are all available on your Seaboard. So this is the home screen that everyone is provided when they create an account, but then can be deleted, edited to best suit the user. So before we go further, I'd like to go into Seaboard and show you what I'm referring to, because I think that's the best way of understanding how it works. So here is the Seaboard website. Upon entering, you have different options. We have a blog with stories about user testing. We have our contact information, and we have a help section with frequently asked questions. To create an account, you simply go to Seaboard, and since I'm already logged in, you go straight to your app, your profile. So here, this is what I mean. You have Quick Chat is a folder. You go in and have different options. And in order to edit your screen, there's a small lock, which you click 3 times and are able to edit your screen. You can then go to settings. You have language settings, speech settings. We have a number of different options, and we have tried to make it as user-friendly, as intuitive as possible. In order to, for example, you can share you can share your boards on social media or to different people. You can also have quick access to boards by clicking on the boards and having a drop down of whichever one you'd like to go to. You can build your own. And another feature that's important to note is when adding a tile, you can here add a tile or button a folder, or a new empty board. In order to search for what you'd like to add to these, there's a small search symbol at the top right corner. You can then search for whatever you like. So if you were making a fruit folder, you could look for apple and look here for all the different options that are available. You can also upload your own image. We've tried to make it in such a way that anyone, no matter what their abilities or needs, can edit Seaboard to best suit what they need in that moment. Another option that we've added is an analytics tool. This analytics tool allows you to track phrases used, words used, boards used. And so by doing this, you're able to keep track of your usage. This could possibly be very helpful for speech therapists, for instance, or occupational therapists helping their patients learn, play games, and they could easily track over time, what types of words they're using, what boards, what's best working for them. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to go back to the presentation. So we've gone over a few of the different central features, including the folders, the boards. Through the different settings, you can also edit the size. You can also browse public boards. So the board that we saw upon entering Seaboard is the home screen. But when you create your own boards, you can choose to make it public. And there's a section on the page where you can browse boards that other people have created. So, Martin, I can pass it over to you if you'd like to discuss.
Okay. Yeah, smaller.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to talk about the fixed boards. By default, when a new board is created, Cboard will add a fluent board. Anyway, it is possible to transform the board into a fixed board. They have the following features. The grid will not change for different screen sizes or device orientation. The number of rows and columns are configurable. The tiles will have fixed positions in the grid. To convert a board into a fixed board, simply edit the board and switch the option in the toolbar to make it fixed. Your board will change its appearance and the rows and columns indicators will be displayed. You can interact with these controls in order to increase or decrease the number of rows and columns you want. In this way, the board will always have the same number of rows and columns, no matter what is the size of the screen or the device orientation. Also, you can move the tiles on a fixed board by dragging and dropping the elements in the position you want. In this way, you can build your own board having empty space between the pictograms.
Okay. I'm going to show one more thing.
Another interesting feature is the ability to change the Seaboard look and feel, and enable the dark mode. You have to go to the display settings and switch the dark mode option. Immediately after you save the settings, the appearance will change, and the entire application will display in dark. The design reduces the light emitted by device screens while maintaining the minimum color contrast ratios required for readability. The dark mode enhances visual ergonomics by reducing eye strain, facilitating screens to adjust according to current light conditions and providing comfort of use at night or in dark environments. Additionally, it conserves battery power, thereby enabling device usage for longer periods without charging. In the medium term, we also plan to provide the high contrast mode in order to help those users having visual impairments.
Okay. Katina, you can continue.
Great. I will continue sharing my screen. So this is what we went over, the analytics tool that I had shown. And I also wanted to briefly discuss Seaboard funding. So Seaboard has been funded by UNICEF and the Office of Innovation. And most recently, UNICEF has been conducting a Seaboard pilot in Eastern Europe, in Croatia, Montenegro, and Serbia. And there have been some great findings, and we've also been able to get great feedback to continue bettering the app. So I have linked the name of the article that UNICEF has published, and I highly recommend that if anyone is interested, they continue reading about the Seaboard pilots through UNICEF. But I wanted to touch a bit on some of the findings that have been found. Parents have found ways to personalize Seaboard to their home environment by taking images of common items from their daily lives to photos of family members and making it more familiar and easy to understand. One of the parents living in Croatia said that her daughter was making great progress carrying the tablet everywhere after the mother had created pictures of her meals and family members. This is another option. You can add images and upload personal images and not just use pictograms on the app itself. There was another study, also part of UNICEF, this same pilot in Serbia, and they were discussing one of the users who's pictured in these images. And at one point she was upset and she was handed the communicator and asked what she wanted. And until then, the child had never asked that she wanted to eat or what she wanted to eat. And the mother was saying that this is one of the great problems she was having and was able to use assistive technology to begin incorporating these habits. So before finishing, this is the second time we conduct user testing, and user testing is central to be able to continue working on the app, because the only way to really know if it's working, what works, what doesn't, is having actual users provide feedback in their own environments, which is why it's so central to be able to receive feedback on this technology, whether it's a message, really anything. All of this helps a lot in terms of developing the app. So what's next for Seaboard? I'm going to pass this over to Martin one more time, who's going to touch on the plans for Seaboard in the coming weeks and months.
Okay. Okay.
Regarding governance model to support the scale-up of Seaboard globally, the big new is that we are joining forces with Auto Project. ADA Project is a software and hardware development company focused in AAC products. The company basically has Android app development expertise. I think that all the products they have run into the Android platform. Their headquarters are in Cordoba, Argentina, the same city where I live in. We have collaborated together in the past.
Yeah, so the main goal is to scale up Seaboard in order to deploy to different countries, maybe across Europe. Okay, so I want to you, Katrina.
So I hope that was clear, and you've gained a broader understanding of how AAC works, how AAC technology works, and we are looking forward to your questions. If you have any questions, please do let us know in the question box or raising your hand. Also, if you have any questions that come up later, we've added our social media where we can be contacted for questions.
Katrina and Martin, thank you very much for this very interesting and informative presentation about your technology. It is indeed very powerful and impactful. We can see that stakeholders have really enjoyed your presentation. There are more than 75 people following us today. They have been praising your work. One particular question that came was I think from Mr. Rakesh in India, who wants to know if this is available in any Indian languages.
Yes, it is. Anyway, it depends on the browser that you use. Anyway, we have the Indian language.
Thank you, Martin. We would like to encourage all participants who want to ask questions to please raise their hands. In the meanwhile, I have a question for Katrina and Martin. Katrina and Martin, you shared some examples of the app being used in some countries. We'd like to hear of more examples if you can share with us some of the success stories that really were very impactful. Could you please share some success stories with us?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to share the links into the chat. Give me 1 second. I'm going to send the links forward. Okay.
Thank you very much, Martin. Participants, the floor is open. So if you would like to ask any question, I can see Faye who wants to ask a question. Colleagues, could you please give Faye the floor? And we would also like to thank Faye because she introduced us to Seaboard and encouraged them to organize this wonderful workshop. Faye, our WSIS intern. Faye, please go ahead. Please.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello, thank you so much, Martin and Katrina, for helping us with the workshop. And I really appreciate all your effort, and I feel like the presentation was wonderful. And my question would be, for the Seaboard application, what would be the next steps to further develop and help more people to help with the outreach? Thank you very much.
Well, okay, the next step is going to be a scale up into the European countries. We plan to deploy the application from Romania, Slovakia, and some other European countries by this year. So that is the next step. Okay.
Thank you very much, Martin. And thank you also for sharing the link to some additional stories from Serbia. Participants, you can see in the chat, Martin has posted a link where you can hear some more, you can read about some more examples. There is one more question from Felix. Can the board be used to design scheduled lessons? I would like to know if there is anywhere we can reach out to you for further questions.
I can answer that. Sorry, I had technical difficulties. Yes, the boards can be edited and used for whatever the user would like to. So we at one point had presented the idea of speech therapists, for instance, or other sorts of types of therapists using and editing their boards by the patient's name. So creating different boards for each patient and being able to add different details depending on whatever that user does need. And then in order to get in touch with us for questions, I can post in the chat. I can post our email address, but we can also be reached on the social media that I had posted earlier. And yeah, I hope that answers your question. I will be posting the email in the chat now.
Thank you very much, Katrina. There is another question. How can WSIS Forum and Seaboard collaborate more in the future? So from our side, Katrina and Martin, we have several workshops scheduled from now until May. So we would like to invite you to share your success stories wherever you can. We also have a track dedicated to ICTs and accessibilities. So we will also invite you in various sessions with reference to that to talk about the wonderful work that you are doing. I hope you have also applied for the WSIS prize, because the nominations are till the 1st of February. So you can submit your project till the 1st of February. Participants, the deadline for the WSIS prize was extended. It is till the 1st of February. And we would like to encourage all of you to submit your wonderful projects like Seaboard for the WSIS prize. And there are various other ways of collaboration, which we will be in touch with to discuss further. Anyone else from the attendees who wants to ask a question? Colleagues, the floor is all open. So Katrina, while you were having some technical problems, Martin also shared some examples with us, some additional examples from Serbia. But the question was from one of the participants that can you also share some examples from other regions? Have you been working in other regions like Asia, Latin America, Africa? Do you have any plans to expand? Could you please share some of your experiences with us?
Yeah. Our first user testing experience was in 2018 in Buenos Aires, Argentina. So it started in Latin America. And we did that on a small scale, that was prior to the official launch of the app. So we began in Argentina. And these examples that we gave in Serbia, Montenegro are the first proper larger scale pilot initiatives or user testing initiatives that have been ongoing. And yes, there are certainly plans to continue expanding. And yes, so to answer your question shortly, it's we do plan on expanding user testing initiatives throughout worldwide. But we are currently working in Eastern Europe and could plan to expand.
Thank you very much. We have a question from Dinara. Dinara, you could take the floor. Could our colleagues give the floor to Dinara, please? Please unmute yourself, Dinara. Go ahead.
Hello. Hi, do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry, my connection is unstable. That's why I sent my question in the Q&A. First of all, thank you so much for the amazing and insightful presentation. And it's great to know that there are such efforts are being made. And I was wondering how you measure the overall impact of the application across different regions, and also if the Seaboard is available in Russian language. Thank you.
Regarding Russian, yeah, it is available, and it will be displayed on the language option of the impact. We basically thank the users of the application globally, so that is a way that we understand the impact of the users by setting the analysis data of the application. Katrina, you want to add something?
Yeah, so we, as Martin said, we often measure impact or usage by number of users and expansion of the app in different regions. We have, as previously mentioned, we have noted that the app is most popular and growing in regions where there are fewer options available. In terms of languages, we're working on increasing languages, but there are more available through the Google Play Store. So when using the app on Android devices, for instance, I think, does that answer your question? Sorry,
Yes, Katrina, I think you were very clear about your future plans and how this technology can be used. Thank you, Martin, and thank you, Katrina. We have one more question from Nawar. She is from UN ESQA. It's a regional commission, UN Regional Commission for the Arab region. She says, thank you very much for this very informative presentation. Does the app support Arabic? If yes, which open source tool is used for text to speech?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Windows support Arabic language. The other thing is Arabic was translated automatically. So maybe we need some triple concepts about the Arabic translation. Will you get that to Katrina?
Yeah, so just to confirm, Arabic is available on Seaboard. So if you go into the language settings, there is an option to translate to Seaboard in both. And so you get the text to speech feature in the language. It is one of the central available features, as is, yeah.
Thank you very much, Martin and Katrina. We have a question for Martin from Irina Skepanovic. Martin, do you have some ideas to connect Seaboard with some new technologies for people with hearing problems?
Well, I mean, I really Seaboard made the pilot is not a really problem. But anyway, we can see how we can implement some kind of technology for any problem. I don't have too much to add on that. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Martin. I do see another question. This is from Bangladesh, and she's asking Tahmina Yasim. So basically, she's asking that her English language is speaking skills are poor. Can I use this software in this situation? If the English language is poor, could I use it? She's asking.
Yes, so Seaboard was sort of created to be rather intuitive and can be edited. So changing things depending on what you need. And it's not necessary to have a good, a high level of English, for example, to have to open an account. By following the steps, you can create your account and change the language immediately upon creating your profile, and editing depending on the needs of the user. So no, you don't need a high level of English to use the app.
Thank you very much, Katrina. I see one last question out here Actually, there are quite a few questions out here. We also encourage you colleagues to please take the floor, because there is more interaction between you and the speakers instead of us reading out the questions. So if you would like to take the floor, please raise your hand and we will give you the floor. So there is a question from BB Panwar, who is asking if if you have, what is the way to do impact analysis? What is the best way to do an impact analysis in this case of the user experience, I guess?
Yeah. Sorry, 1 second. Could you repeat the question or?
Yes, Katrina. So this is a question from BP Panwar, and I think it is about measuring the overall impact. So at present, like, do you have a measure in place to kind of assess the overall impact of the technology?
Hi. Yes. So BP Panwar is one of the colleagues from the UNICEF who's helped conduct the pilot in Eastern Europe. So he's, I believe he's clarifying the way in which they have assessed this. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the way that we had been measuring was by usage, and we're able to see where users are concentrated throughout the world and measuring that way. And during their pilot, they've used this this psychosocial impact of assistive devices scale.
So we would like to encourage Mr. BP Panwar to take the floor. We see that he's online. We can see you, sir. If you just unmute yourself, we will be able to hear you as well. Please go ahead, Mr. BP Panwar. Yes, please go ahead, Mr. BP Panwar. You have been unmuted. Okay, so for some reason, we are not able to hear him.
Hi, yes, hopefully you can hear me now.
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Hi, it's a great pleasure to join this session. Yes, my name is BP Panwar. I'm the Technology for Development Business Analyst for UNICEF Regional Office in Geneva. And as Katrina mentioned, actually, I led the pilot project for Seaboard in 3 countries, along with my colleagues from early childhood development teams. So there are a lot of informations which I can also share if anyone is interested, particularly for the impact assessment. As I mentioned in the chat, we have actually worked with 2 specialists on speech therapy from UK, who are helping us to do the impact assessment by using these standard tools called PAIRS, which is psychological impact of assistive devices scale. And we got actually quite good outcome from this in the pilot phase. In fact, now we are expanding the pilot not only in these 3 countries, but to other additional countries in Europe and Central Asia region. In terms of the text-to-speech related question which came from a number of colleagues, so there are actually options either to use the built-in text-to-speech service, which is available on Android from Google, which is quite good in number of languages, including like Hindi and Arabic, as well as the major languages like Spanish or French or Italian. But for other countries, the text-to-speech engine can be developed. So for example, in Serbia, Croatia, and Montenegro, as the text-to-speech engine from Google was not working well, we partnered with one of the universities in Serbia who helped us to develop the text-to-speech engine, which is now used in this platform. There was a question from Bangladesh. In Bangladesh also there is a very good text-to-speech engine that can be used in the platform. In addition to that, we are working with Martin and team to have the option even to record the speech if it's suppose text-to-speech engine is not available. Same time, if Google text-to-speech engine is also not good, then the countries can take it and record the speech for all the symbols which are in the system. Additionally, all these symbols are open source. So any country can take these symbols and customize based on the local context. For example, a symbol for boy may be different in Asia than the symbol of boy in Africa. So that symbol also is open source, and the countries can take these symbols and then customize those and upload back in the system. So as we are supporting from UNICEF this solution for last 2-3 years, we are trying to make it very flexible, very open, so that it can be taken to a number of countries. But of course, if we can have more partners coming together, I think this solution can really make a huge impact and bring the voice to those millions of children who are having problems either due to like the affordability of this kind of a devices or due to not availability of these kind of a devices. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. I think we have a question, but in Serbian or Polish. Vladimir, can you help us there? Do you understand the question from Jelena?
Yes, hello. This was actually my reply. So Jelena asked, actually shared a message that she is from Montenegro and she's a speech and language therapist and pathologist. She attended UNICEF Seaboard Voice for Every Child. The app is simple and very helpful to use. The impact that it will be on a global level will be enormous. She is using Seaboard translated in her mother tongue, and she thanks to today's speakers and this platform.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vladimir, and thank you to Jelena. Colleagues, I think we are nearing the end. If you have more questions, we can still take them. However, we also encourage you to take a group photograph. So for the photograph, you need to raise your hand and our colleagues will allow you to share your camera. So I can see many people have shared their hands. Whoever wants to be in the group photograph, please raise your hand so that we can allow you to take part in the photograph. In the meanwhile, Katrina and Martin, if you have some last words, please go ahead.
I just thank you to everyone who joined, and yeah, just thank you. And if you do have any feedback on Seaboard, we'd be more than happy to answer your questions or take them into account. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Martin. You are the founder of this application. Thank you very much for bringing such a wonderful application for everybody to use. It is an extremely valuable tool, and we will continue to partner with Seaboard to make sure that all the people across the world who want this technology are able to access this technology. So thank you very much. And we can see that a lot of people have switched on the camera. So colleagues, let's take a first photograph.
We will. Let me just give us some more time to include everyone.
Okay, it's really nice to see everybody here today. Wish you a happy new year. And
we would like to, of course, remind you and invite you to join us on Monday, 1st of February at 2 o'clock Geneva time for the second virtual open consultation process meeting, where you can hear about news and updates ongoing calls, and everything else related to the WSIS Forum 2021. It is very important that you join to see that this platform is designed for everyone, including everyone in this room. Please come and share this information. Follow social media of WSIS process on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Follow our videos on YouTube to learn more about what we do. It would be great to have you all also attending on Monday, and that we can continue this collaboration. So now we have made all our participants panelists, and we'd like to invite all of you to turn on your cameras for a beautiful group photo.
Okay, it's so nice to see all of you. Ifat, hi, how are you? Rakesh ji, Tamina,
So good to see
Jelina,
you.
so nice to see all of you. Ahmed. Okay, so please give us a hint, Vladimir, when you are ready.
Yes, I'm ready with announcing it, and I'd just like to invite my colleague Karen to take the photo. So Karen, if you're ready, I would like to invite all of you to look into the camera for next 5 seconds and give us a big smile.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Karen.
all. And please follow the WSIS Forum website for the recording of this session. All WSIS Forum sessions are recorded, and we'll share the recording shortly after the session, and also come back to see and download the group photo we just have taken. Thanks again.
Thank you very much, and hope to see all of you on the 1st of February. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you,
Martin.
Martin. Thank you, Katrina.
Thank you, Katrina. Thank you, Faye. Bye-bye.